I have finally finished my Pomni action figure, and let me tell you that making this figure was a total pain in the ass. It all started one night when I was getting off of a friend's car and I said, can you imagine if there were an action figure of Pomni or even Jax? He said, that would be awesome if someone made that. And in my head, I was like, time to create. Not knowing that making them will become an actual freaking nightmare. Really, it was. Well, mostly Pomni was the one that gave me most headache. Jax, not so much, compared to Pomni, obviously. He was, relatively easier and faster to make, maybe because I didn't make different heads or different hands for him. I still do not think he will have given me as much trouble as Pomni did. I made both of them 3D models on Blender. Both figures took me a lot of time. I can say that finishing everything related to Pomni took me to twice or even 3 times as long as it took me to make the full Jax figure. You have no idea how many times my computer kept freezing while I was working on Pomni's figure. I mean, my PC is not the best, but it's not bad either. It is what I have. Pocket Pomni, but the result was amazing. Well, it's amazing. The final result of my figures, Pomni and Jax, is something that I'm really happy with. When designing an action figure, a lot depends on the character's anatomy. Even though many characters have many similarities, many others have a very unique and distinctive body shapes. And that makes the 3D modeling process a bit more complicated, because there has to be a balance between preserving the final character design and adding articulation joints. In other words, you have to choose between not changing the original character design. What the heck? As I was saying, you have to choose between not changing the original character design too much, while you're still trying to keep the original design as syntax as possible. I mainly work with 2 different types of joints, and one of them is made of 4 pieces that fit together to form the joint, and the other joint is just like 2 pieces, A and B. Why do I work with 2 different types of joints? Is because sometimes you need one, and in other specific cases you need the other type, so it's kind of tricky. It depends really about the figure. I didn't give Jax any expression variations for his heads or hands. Why? I don't really know. Honestly, there is no specific reason. Fans of Jax, please don't hate me. But hey, Omni her own variation. The favoritism? No. Well, yes. The steel files for 3D printing the Jax action figure are available on my Cool's 3D page, just in case you want it. Was it stressful? It was. Was it time consuming? Hell yeah. Putting aside all the stress that came with making this model, I have to say that I'm really happy with the final result. Do you remember what I told you at the beginning of the video? Well, a week later, and this was actually as I was designing the Jax figure, I was scrolling when a reel appeared showing that Figma was going to release a Pomni figure. I saw it and I thought, what if I do not make Pomni anymore and just I make Jax? But later, after thinking about it more, I realized that the faces that Pomni's Figma figure is gonna have, and also the hands on the official figure, I had seen have nothing related to the evil Pomni or possessed Pomni. Spoiler, the 3D model of the articulated action figure of Pomni 3. You can download TADC files on my Maker World page. Did I already mention it's free? To be honest, one of the things that was hardest was making the different facial expressions and hand poses. They also make the poses you can do with it much better.